Imaginable have arrived. There's something we have that they want. Something you can find only at Epcot. Introducing Splashtacular, a brilliant new world of leaping fountains and Disney magic. Splashtacular. It's magical. It's wonderful. But how long will it be ours? Find out for yourself at Epcot.
It was 1993, and Epcot was in an intense renovation process. Executives brought many changes and new things to the park in their effort to revitalize it. These changes ranged from the very unwelcome change of attractions to renovations around the park and new shows. One of these new shows was Splashtacular. This massive show featured around 50 dancers, a few beloved Disney characters, and its own soundtrack. The show's central theme was that Mickey needed to save color from an alien sorceress who comes down from a planet that lost all color and life in a war and seeks to steal it. This might sound bizarre, but the addition of space creatures was done in this show to try to maintain the futuristic sci-fi theme in Future World. While the initial idea of this show wasn't necessarily bad, the execution was strange. Just picture it, an evil witch from the galactic universe summoning a fire-breathing, cybernetic dinosaur called Pterosaurus. Pterosaurus was represented as a giant animatronic dinosaur head stuck in a huge metal structure that resembled a spinal column. As weird as this sounds, this animatronic was very interesting and impressive, and could even shoot fireworks from its chest. In the end, Mickey defeats this creature by summoning the power of the fountain's water and sending the sorceress into a retreat. If this sounds familiar, it's because this show was adapted from the It's Magical show that ran during Tokyo Disneyland's 10th anniversary. This show is practically the same. The original one didn't have any futuristic space theme, and in the alien sorceress's place, we could find Maleficent in her human and dragon form. Splashtacular had terrible reception, and less than a year after it opened, Disney announced that the show would be retired, saying that Splashtacular wasn't appropriate for the park and was closed shortly after. But honestly, everyone knows that the show closed because of the bad reception it got. Still, this was not the end for Pterosaurus, because this animatronic was actually recycled and sent to Magic Kingdom to become the futuristic Dino Elvis, a large robot dinosaur being redressed as an intergalactic Elvis Presley impersonator. This animatronic was used for the Tomorrowland Galaxy Search Show, where he appeared at the end along with Goofy. When this show was retired, the animatronic disappeared from the parks until 2011, when he was spotted completely abandoned and in disrepair, missing his Elvis suit. It was visible to guests during the Disney's Magic Behind Our Steam Trains tour. Nowadays, nobody knows where this animatronic ended up, but it disappeared from this location, and looking at these satellite images, we can see that it is no longer backstage. Splashtacular and Pterosaurus were undoubtedly strange, but not even this weird show and its animatronics deserve being abandoned this way. Hopefully, one day Disney will be able to recycle it and use it for something else, or even just restore it to display it as part of Epcot's history. Our next stop takes us to the Nevada desert, and you might be wondering, how did a piece of Disney parks end up abandoned in the desert? And even more importantly, from Disney World, that's on an entirely different coast, 2,073 miles away. Let's go back to 1971 when Disney World opened. This new park brought with it a new era of transportation to the Disney theme parks, the new Mark IV monorails. This new monorail model was designed by Bob Gurr, who based it on the original Disneyland monorail, but with a new renovated look. The main idea that Imagineers had with this new system was to make the monorail an excellent method of transportation for Disney World guests, apart from it being an extra attraction. Imagineers wanted to make guests feel like they were leaving the real world behind and traveling to a faraway fantasy land. They achieved this thanks to the Seven Seas Lagoon that separates the parking structure from Magic Kingdom's entrance, making the monorail one of the integral experiences while arriving at the park. This particular monorail model was in operation until the mid-90s, when they were discontinued to be replaced by the Mark VI, because the Mark V was only used at Disneyland. And here's when these monorails made their way to the state of Nevada. You see, in 1995, the MGM Grand opened its doors in Las Vegas, and with its opening, it brought the MGM Bally monorail. This 1-mile monorail system connected the Bally's Las Vegas Hotel and Casino with the MGM Grand Hotel. 2 refurbished Mark IV monorails were purchased from Walt Disney World to create this system. These 2 monorails were in operation in Las Vegas for a while until 2002, when the system was renovated, and the system went from being 1 mile long to 4 miles long, connecting several casinos. When this happened, these 2 monorails were retired and surprisingly abandoned in the middle of the Nevada desert. One of these monorails had a pretty grim ending because after it was abandoned, it was purchased to be used and destroyed in a monster truck show. The second vehicle was rescued by Amber and Bill Carter, who recently took it under their care. Our friends from Theme Park Shark visited the location where the monorail was abandoned, and thanks to them, we can see that this historic Disney place is now significantly deteriorated. From graffiti to destroyed controlled systems, it's such a shame to see this monorail end up like this. This monorail car was put up for auction back in 2015, and on May 28th of this year, it finally found a new owner. So hopefully, this story will have a happy ending after all. This video is very special to us because thanks to you, the Duck Squad, we just reached 300K ducks. Thank you for your support and for being part of this journey with us. We wouldn't be here without all of you. Here's to many more years of talking about theme parks and animatronics.